Hey guys, VideoJames, and this is going to be my Shaddotrain deck profile. And this is a deck that's basically a mix of trains and Shaddolls. And I'm sorry this video is a little shaky and you can't really see what the cards are, but I'm trying to record this on a laptop with my Kindle because this laptop doesn't have a screen record software, so I'm going to try and say all the names as clearly as I can, so if you don't hear any, I'll leave the deck list down in the description as well. But hopefully I pronounce them all good enough, so let's just go ahead and get in. So first card I run is 3 Night Express Knight, and he's basically the main core of the deck for getting out rank 10 monsters, because he can be normal summoned without tributing, but his original attack becomes 0, and he's a level 10 Earth with 3,000 attack and 3,000 defense. So, beef stick, but it goes down to 0 for an instant 10 rank. And then next we run Heavy Freighttrain Derricane, and I'll run 3 of them. And I probably should see this coming, but some people are probably going to call this Hitler's train in the comments, because this was the name of Hitler's actual train. And what this card is if an Earth Machine type normal monster is normal or special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon it from your hand, but its original attack and defense are halved, and you can only use that effect once per turn. And if Heavy Freighttrain Derricane is detached from an Xyz material, or from an Xyz monster as an Xyz material, and sent to the graveyard, to activate that monster's effect, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So it's basically an instant rank 10 that basically wipes out your opponent's field. What you do, just basically summon a Night Express Knight, then use Heavy Freighttrain effect, get it out. And if you have a Ruffian Railcar, or not Ruffian Railcar, Revolving Switchyard, use it, get out Ruffian Railcar, and then go into Superdimensional Galaxy Robot, get rid of the Derricane, and just wipe out all your opponent's spells and traps, and then you can use Derricane, destroy a monster. I mean, this deck has extremely good combos, and I'm thinking of building it in real life, but the materials are a little expensive. And by a little, I mean, holy crap, why are they so expensive? Like, the train monsters alone probably make up more than a Magispector deck. Alright, so the next card is 2 Exodius the Ultimate Forbbiden One. And what he does is basically, if a monster is in your graveyard, you can special summon it by returning all monsters from your graveyard to your deck, and when it declares an attack, you can send one monster from your hand to the deck, or from your hand or deck to the graveyard. So it basically is an instant recycle Shaddoll and Shaddoll recover. You get him onto the field, you return all Shaddolls in your graveyard back to your deck, you attack with him, you use his effect, send Shaddoll Beast, effective Shaddoll Beast, draw a card. And speaking of Shaddoll Beast, that is the next card we actually run, and we run 2 of him, just because his effect is probably the best out of all of the Shaddolls. His flip effect is you can draw 2 cards and then discard 1, and if he's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can draw 1 card. But you can only use 1 effect of him per turn, and only once that turn. So basically with him, you send him to the graveyard, you get an extra draw, or you flip him up and you get an extra draw. So win-win either way. So he's the best out of all of the Shaddolls. I personally don't think you should run more than 2, because while I agree he is good, he's not really needed that much. Like, this deck doesn't need that much draw power. So then the next card we run is Shaddoll Dragon, and he's a level 4 Dark, and what he does is you can target one card, you can see it right there. You can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand, and if it is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. So, your opponent gets Vanity's Emptiness, okay, destroy my dragon. I'll just bring out a destruction on your Vanity's Emptiness. Ah, crap. And then the next card we run, which is basically one of the MVPs of the deck, is Ruffian Railcar. What he does is once per turn you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent, but you can't conduct your battle phase when you activate that effect. And during the end phase, if he's in the graveyard because he's sent there this turn, you can add a level 10 Earth Machine type monster from your deck to your hand. So he can pull off one of the best combos, which is Exceed into Night Express Knight and him together through Revolving Switchyard, and summon an Xyz like Superdreadnought Railcan and Gustav, then detach him from Superdreadnought Railcan and Gustav, and if you have a Freighttrain Derricane in your hand, then end phase, you can either add a Night Express Knight if you have the Derricane, or just add a Night Express Knight altogether and then get Revolving Switchyard next turn. So then, the next card is 2 Shaddoll Squamata. And I never really saw the point of him just because he didn't see that good when I was running Shadolls. But what he does is you can target one monster on the field if he's flipped face up and destroy it, and if he's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, I can send a Shaddoll monster from my deck to my graveyard except Squamata, so he's basically an instant beast to grave. And then the next card is Mathematician. I'm really disappointed this came down to 1, because that kind of nerfed Shadolls even more than when they banned Construct. Yeah, they banned it. And what Mathematician does is when he's normal summoned, I can send a level 4 or lower monster from my deck to the graveyard. Ruffian Railcar, Squamata, Dragon, Hedgehog, Falco. Over 5 different level 4 monsters. You're going to hell, boy. And when he is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you get to draw a card. So there's really no bad side to Mathematician. It makes sense that he came down to 1. He used to be at 2, which makes it even more sad that he came down. And then the next card is Shaddoll Hedgehog. What he does is you can add a Shaddoll monster, spell or trap, from your deck to your hand if he's face up. And if he's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add a Shaddoll monster from your deck to your hand, except Hedgehog. So basically, he lets you add any Shaddoll you want, but he has to be sent to the graveyard. So, get him into the graveyard, add a Falco, set a Falco next turn, flip Falco face up, and then get Hedgehog back on the field. And speaking of the bird himself, he's the last monster in this deck, and I only run 1 of him, just because you're going to be doing more exceeding with this deck than you are with tuning. Because you can see there's only 1 tuner in this deck, and that's Ancient Fairy. Which I do plan to change soon. I need to put in Black Rose Moonlight. But I'm not going to do that now, because I'd have to put down the Kindle and stop recording. But anyway, moving on to the spells, we run 3 Shaddoll Fusion, which is basically you can fusion summon a Shaddoll monster using monsters from your extra deck. You can fusion summon a Shaddoll Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as a fusion material. Or, if your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can also use monsters in your deck as the fusion material. So your opponent gets, let's say, Blue Eyes Neo Ulti out. You use this, you can special summon from the deck, and instantly get out of fusion. And then you can just go into a rank 10 with Shaddoll Shekhinaga and, let's say, Night Express Knight and have an instant 5000 beat stick or something. And then the next card is Soul Charge, which I'm not really too sure about. I mean, for the level 10s it makes sense, but for the rest of the monsters, considering there's very few level 10s, I don't really see the point. Plus, I mean, Exodius kind of gives you the monster recall anyway, so if you really get in trouble, you just get him back. So I might swap that out for either a Vanity's Emptiness or a few Storming. I might do that for one of the Call of the Haunteds too. But what Soul Charge does is you can target any number of monsters in your graveyard, special summon them, and if you do, you lose 1000 life points for each monster special summoned. But you can't conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card. See, that's why I think Exodius is so much better than that, because he basically gives you a free recycle and you can still attack, even though he has, like, 0 attack unless he has normal monsters in the grave. Right, and the next card we run is Terraforming, really no explanation, add a field spell. Foolish Burial, again, no explanation, send a monster from your deck to the graveyard. Shaddoll Fusion, I only run 1, because it's limited, of course, I can't run more than 1. Fusion summon 1 Shaddoll Fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as an Exodius material. And I can see why this card was banned, considering it's a quick play spell fusion. I mean, that does seem a little bit OP, don't you think? And then the next card is Limiter Removal, just because there's so many machines. We've got all the trains, we've got a lot of machines in the XEs, we've basically got a machined out deck. And then the next card is 2 Forbbiden Chalice, which you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, and until the end phase, it gains 400 attack, but its effects are negated. So say you come across a Blue Eyes user who's running Sage or still runs Maiden, which I do because I still believe at least one Maiden can be useful. You let them get that monster in the field and then say, okay, no, I'm going to Chalice that. And then the best card in the deck, Revolving Switchyard. It's the best field spell in this deck. I don't know why you can't run 6 cards, but it was probably because they anticipated this kind of card would be coming out. If a level 10 Earth Machine type monster is normal or special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can activate this effect. Your opponent takes no battle damage for the rest of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. Also, you special summon one level 4 Earth Machine type monster with 1800 or more attack from your deck, and if you do, it becomes level 10. I wonder who that was looking at, Ruffian Railcar. Fake cough. But this card also has a secondary effect, if I can get over here without clicking anything else. There we go. And its secondary effect is, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard to add a level 10 Earth Machine type monster from your deck to your hand. So say you don't have a Night Express Knight, but you have a Derricane, and you have a Shaddoll monster in your hand, discard a Shaddoll monster, add the Night Express Knight you need, and instantly get out Heavy Freighttrain Derricane. And then, moving on to the traps, like I said, I should put a few Storming Mirror Force in here, which I probably will. I'll probably take out 2 Call of the Haunted and put in 2 Storming Mirror Force. Or probably a Soul Charge. But anyway, probably 2 Storming Mirror Force instead of Call of the Haunted and Soul Charge. But with the rest of the traps, I run 1 Shaddoll Core, which lets you special summon it as an effect monster, which you can see down there is its stuff, and I'm not going to read all that. But it's also still a trap card, and if this monster was special summoned this way, you can substitute it for a fusion material monster that lists an attribute on a Shaddoll Fusion monster card. So say you tried to summon Shaddoll Shekhinaga, but you don't have an Earth monster on the field that you want to get rid of. Okay, I'll just activate Shaddoll Core and substitute it for that monster. And if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target a Shaddoll spell/trap in your graveyard, except Shaddoll Core, and add it to your hand. So, instant fusion back. And then, we've just got Skill Drain to lock down all the effects, and wait for someone to try and destroy it. And then, like I said, 3 Call of the Haunted in here, although I really should be running 2 Storming Mirror Force. And then, moving on to the extra deck, we have Shaddoll Shekhinaga. It's a Machine Earth Fusion that's level 10, so it's good for your XEs. And it takes 2600 attack and 3000 defense. And in order to summon it, you have to have a Shaddoll monster and an Earth monster. And it has to be fusion summoned, apparently. You can't special summon it any other way. And, crap. And during either player's turn, when a special summon monster activates its effect, where you have a Shaddoll card in your graveyard, you can negate the activation, destroy that monster, and send one Shaddoll card from your hand to the graveyard. Now, why wasn't he limited? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because he's too broken to be touched? Can't touch this? And his other effect is, if he's sent to the graveyard, you can target a Shaddoll spell/trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it's basically same secondary effect as Core. And then I only run 1 Shaddoll Winda, just because you're not going to be using have that many fusions. And it takes 1 Shaddoll monster and 1 Dark monster, and it's got 2200 attack and 800 defense, and it has to be fusion summoned, again, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects. So your opponent is running Blue Eyes or something, and they try to use something like Burst Stream. Okay, I stay alive. It's basically like Magispectors. Each player can only special summon monsters up to once per turn while this card is face up on the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, same effect as Shekhinaga. And then we have Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is a level 7 Synchro that has 2100 attack and 3000 defense, so basically the reverse of the Blue Eyes. And it takes 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters, and once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 lower monster from your hand. So you want to get out something that you need to, special summon a Shaddoll. And you can't conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. And once per turn, you can destroy a field spell card, and if you do, gain 1,000 life points, and you can add a field spell from your deck to your hand. So, since we won 3 Revolving Switchyard, destroy one with Ancient Fairy, gain 1,000, and then get another one. It's basically an instant recycle. And then, I'm not going to read the XCs, but I'll show you the pictures, and you can go look them up if you want to. So, for the final XCs, we run number 77, the 7 Sins, number 84, Pain Gainer, Superdimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer, Skypalace Gangaridai, number 81, Superdreadnought Rail Cannon Dora, 2 Superdreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, number 35, Ravenous Tarantula, and Castell the Skyblaster Musketeer. So that's basically it for the Shaddotrain deck profile. It actually runs fairly decently. You'll be able to win a good couple of matches with this deck. I'd say now it's probably anti-meta, because most of the meta today is basically focused around pendulums, because stuff like Magispectre and all that. But this deck is still pretty good. I would definitely recommend this deck. I don't know the exact price, because a lot of these cards are expensive, and once I saw their prices, I didn't want to look them up. But if you guys want to, you can. Feel free to do that. But I'm going to leave this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Profiles here. Again, sorry the video was shaky. I'm trying to record it from a Kindle with my... from a Kindle with my laptop, so it's going to be shaky. And I can't really fix that because YouTube doesn't fix shakiness, really. But hopefully you guys liked this deck profile. If you did, go ahead and slap that like button, and I will see you guys later.